How y'all doing? Thank you all for tuning in to today's show. This is the Anger Management Podcast, and we are in partnership with It's Okay to Live with none other than DJ Miss Tan. How you doing today, DJ Miss Tan?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing just good. And we also have my brother Andre Peeko Train in the house. All right. So what I'm going to do now is that since this is a partnership, I'm going to go ahead and let DJ Miss Tan go ahead and start everything because she has some things for us to talk about. So go ahead, DJ.
Welcome, Tanzanites. So, in partnership today, I am lucky enough to have two guests. So, It's Okay to Live podcast is still the same, but we're partnering with Leroy. What's the name of your podcast again?
It's the Anger Management Podcast.
The Anger Management Podcast. He has so much things going on, I never remember. And today, this is part of our It's Okay Dad series. But I have two dads with me today, not just one. I'll go ahead and let them introduce themselves and tell them a little bit about who they are, and then we're going to get right into it.
All right. Well, of course, my name is the last Leroy. I'm a comedian here in Jacksonville, Florida, traveling nationwide. Outside of doing that, I'm a podcaster, live streamer. Work for the city. I got a multitude of things. I'm also a HVAC tech, so it don't make no difference of what I do. But today, it's about making sure that the men get exactly what they need out of us today.
And Mr. What are you going by today?
Andre Peeko Train. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Andre Peeko Train. You know, it remains the same no matter what you want to call me. Just don't call out my name. I'm a 22-year Army veteran, recon scouts out who are disabled at the moment. Y'all see, I only got one leg. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, one leg. But yeah, man, I'm also a filmmaker, cinematographer. Carter Boys Entertainment is my company. I also have a nonprofit organization called Rebuilding Unity Through Healing Hearts, where we teach, train, and mentor youth in the city of Jacksonville, Florida. So Ruth is the name of it, you know what I'm saying, named after my grandmother and my mother's middle name. So, yeah, but we're here for mental health. So hopefully we give you brothers some nuggets that you can take home, put it in your pocket, and go fix yourself, fix your life.
That's not chicken nuggets. Those are really nuggets about life. It happens to be June, which Leroy informed me it is Mental Health Awareness Month for our men.
Yes.
I never even knew it existed. So how great is that we have two men that are willing to help our dads during the It's Okay Dad series. And before we begin, let me go ahead and plug our events. Right now, I am having a It's Okay Dad event. June 20th, 5 to 9. That's the day before Father's Day. It's for my dads only. Sorry, moms. Sorry, kids. Our dad figures, uncles, cousins, godfathers who have stepped in, granddads. It is a day for our dads to just get what they need, which is a break. So we're going to pour into your dads. Leroy is going to be my host with the mostest. Andre is going to be part of my round table. And we are going to have a really good time. I'm going to feed you guys, and it is absolutely free. Go to Eventbrite, search for It's Okay Dad, or go to my website, itsokaytolive.com. That's ITS2live.com. So we're going to get right into it. We never know what our episodes are going to be about or how they're going to go, but what I do know, like Andre said, Dre Peeko Train, oh gosh, said we're going to give out, well, they're going to give you some nuggets. I'm just going to ask them some questions.
No.
So tell them about your event.
Well, for all of y'all that don't know, if you're here in Jacksonville at the Comedy Zone, June 18th, I have a comedy special called Therapy that's focused around Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, which is going to be blue. Make sure that you go out there to Comedy Zone, the website. Don't go to Ticketmaster. Don't go to any other one of these ticket places that sell tickets secondhand. Go directly to the source. You're going to get the price that's on the flyer. If you go to one of them, you're going to be paying like $80. You don't want to do that. Just go ahead and pay the little $20 with the $6 fee and come and get this show. We've got some outstanding comedians and poets that are going to be on the show. And just be prepared to learn something about myself that's meant to help build you up, not break you down.
Are you going to have a DJ?
Oh yes, and none other than my DJ. She know who she is. DJ, none other than DJ Miss Tan gonna be in the building on the ones and twos. I'm gonna also have poet Bird Cage that's gonna be there. My sister Foxy Ham, who's a comedian, is gonna pray the show in for us before we even get started. Then it's gonna be hosted by none other than Jen Weeks. It's gonna have my brother
Mm.
Big Chip. Funny Bone, Wes
Mm.
Johnson, and Holly Landrum on the show. So that first hour, if y'all don't get there early, y'all gonna miss out. And then that second hour is gonna be yours truly, me.
Coo, 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 coo,
If
coo.
y'all didn't know me,
I feel remiss that I didn't announce to people on my show. It is a top secret. You have to come there to see. But other than the host and Mike being at the table, I have some really good performers. Poet Conviction, Poet Knowledge, Poet Tomcat. I got two female DJs, DJ Red, DJ Marzette. You guys better come. I have singers, Lamia Cummings. I have a singer coming all the way from Palm Beach County, Cherie Brooks. She got a new last name, Cooper. Thank you. So we're gonna get started. We're gonna talk about everything, but I want to know, what do you think we could talk about with Mental Health Awareness Month for men?
the suicide rate for men is extremely high at the moment, and it's because of we don't have the waywood to be able to release those emotions and those feelings without being judged. So that's where I'm coming from. I do the anger management podcast strictly because of that, and it's also like therapy as well to be able to speak and get those things off. I'm very transparent, so I really don't care what people think. My goal is to be able to assist someone who might be looking at this podcast and be thinking that they at home by themselves, getting ready to take their last breath, or they just ready to check out of here, but then realize that there are men going through the exact same thing that you're going through, but they got a forge of men around them to be able to talk about the things that they have going on.
Indeed.
So, with that said, another good reason why I have Leroy here, not because it's only Mental Health Awareness a month, it's because he has the ability to speak about these things in a way that won't make men feel so over, what's the word? I don't know, but make them feel overly emotional to where they can't share. He has a keen ability to express himself in a vulnerable way that gets the point across. That's also with my brother over here, Mr. What name are you going by today?
Andre Pico Train.
Mr. Andre Pico Train. He also has that natural ability to express himself, and he's been very candid about the things that he's been through in his life. So, with that said, what does mental health awareness mean to you, Andre?
Well, love lifted me. Love lifted me. When nothing else could help, love lifted me. Yeah, so I mean, mental health to me, it means a lot. Once I found out about mental health and the that the issues and things that dealt with mental health, I was mad at myself. So mental health means a lot to me. It means, everybody need to get checked up. We had that stigma back in the day where, a lot of us had issues and problems, but we never really went to get help to see what those problems was because we thought about financial, and one, we didn't really want to tell nobody our business back then or what we was going through. So that's where the vulnerable part comes in, and it's hard for men to do it. So, I have some mental health issues that I deal with on my own. I have been to counseling and things like that, but, me fixing it for myself and finding out and knowing and recognizing that there is something wrong with you, bruh. You do have a problem, bruh. So you need to go get checked up and get seen and talk to somebody to make sure you got that thing under control, because that's where a lot of violence and crime and stuff like that happen. So mental health means a lot to me, and I like to address it. I like for people to talk about it and just get out there and be honest with yourself.
Okay.
So, now that we got that out the way, my question for you guys, I guess it's going to be kind of like a interview, and you guys can ask me questions as well. I know that we're in partnership with the podcast, Leroy, and I know that on your podcast, and Michael, you as well, Andre, you as well, that on your podcast you make it an open format for men and women. So it's
Correct.
not necessarily about just the men, but you guys are very instrumental in helping men. I've seen your podcast where you guys have talked about some real stuff.
Yes.
We've had podcasts where you've curated them and we've talked about some real stuff that means something to you, even though they aren't things you necessarily went through.
Correct.
Like the one you did for me, Taylor, and Jean, because we all lost our kids,
Correct.
right? So, as dads, oh gosh, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not.
No,
I'm
don't.
so
I
very
mean,
proud of y'all.
It's okay. I mean, this is a safe space.
It's
Go ahead
okay
and
to
yeah.
be okay.
Go ahead and.
I'm so very proud of y'all. Not
Uh-huh.
only, I mean, the good thing about y'all is that you say, I ain't perfect. I've made mistakes,
Right.
you know? So, what can you tell my dads about some mistakes that you made
Mm-hmm.
to help them avoid them?
Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll start it. Everything comes with first and foremost taking accountability, right? You have to know the mistakes that you're making, and sometimes it takes a real bump or a devastating time for you to kind of get the realization of what those mistakes may be. At the end of the day, as long as you know what those are and you make the active changes that need to be made, then it's okay to go ahead and make those mistakes. I know my mistake that I'm willing to talk about is going to be the raising of my daughter. I know the raising of my daughter. I could have been a little sauce, a little. I'm about telling you not to cry, but I'm getting choked up. The raising, going through therapy, realized the raising of my daughter, I could have done completely different. You know, I raised her like a boy. Yeah, somebody alarm is going off. It's that time for her to take her meds.
Yes, it is. Why
You
you
know?
telling all my business?
You know what I'm saying? So, the raising of my daughter, I kind of harp on. Even the memories, there are good memories, but there are things that I specifically beat myself up over about how I raised her. If I was softer with her at this particular age, maybe she might have been more open to the ideas of doing things differently. You know what I mean? My daughter, I love her to life. You know what I'm saying? She's the best thing I've ever made. There's just things that I wish now that the old version of myself would have done completely different now. So I was like, when I get ready to have grandkids, then you'll see the difference. I think that's even why most grandparents act different with their grandkids versus their regular kids.
Covering those
You know
mistakes.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I knew I made these mistakes when you was growing up. I know if once I become a grandfather, which I don't even know who my grandparents are, or my grandfather is. I mean, I know my grandmother, but she's passed. But I don't know who my grandfather is. So at the end of the day, I'll be able to at least break that stigma, that generational curse of not knowing who their grandparents is. When my daughter has her child, they're gonna know who their grandfather is because that's what I'm gonna be. But I know for sure that baby gonna be spoiled.
So, with that said, before we get too further in, because we typically wait to the end to say exactly why we're doing this. So, let me just take a pause for the cause. I do have a Father's Day event. It's free for all my dads, and Leroy is my host. He is going to help our program move along in a happy way. And I don't know happy because I don't know if he's too much happy. He may be jolly. I don't know if he's too much jolly
is
either.
I'm saying using a lot of
but
fat
I'll
terms.
just say in a fun way. Because he is a fun guy. I was just joking. He know I'm giving him a hard time. We give each other a hard time.
Yeah.
That's the dynamics here. So don't panic. Don't start taking up for him. The people on his page, like, hold up. Don't talk about my Leroy. But he is hosting this event we're having at the Maceo Elk Lodge, downtown, 712 West Duval Street. You'll find all of the information on my website, itsokaytolive.com. If you are a dad, go to Eventbrite and register for your free ticket. Just search for It's Okay Dad. This way I'll know how much food to provide, how much tables to set up. I need this information like yesterday. So right now we have about 50 spots left. So go ahead and get signed up. If you know a dad figure, it could be an uncle that served as a dad. We had an uncle earlier today with us who is just really leading his nephew. And that's what we need in this community. But we also need dads to have a break so they can keep on doing these types of things. So, Michael, do you remember the question?
Yes.
All right, it's your
Yes,
turn
yes,
because I
yes,
don't.
yes. So the question was the mistakes that,
Oh, with parenting.
yeah, the mistakes. So as children, you're not raised to be a father. We learn from learned behaviors of the male figures that are around us, and if we don't have them, a lot of us learn from our mothers. I had a strong foundation, even though my father died when I was 3, but I have a stepdad, and I had an uncle that was crazy and abusive, but he taught me how to be a man. He's a Marine, and so he had that mentality of teaching me how to be a man. All of us, and it was a lot of us growing up. So we had a lot of male figures around us that gave us, family. We was more family oriented than anything. So I did grow up with family, even though we, was in the streets fighting, doing crazy stuff. But growing up being a father at a young age, we were still young. We were still teenagers or, 20 years old, not really men yet, because we don't become that till we're like 25 before we really develop. And so, raising kids at a young age, you're still in that young stage. And I'm in the military doing my thing, still growing up at the same time, trying to be a father at the same time. So the mistakes I made, I was a young man trying to raise young men, so I had to learn, I had to mature. And as I got older in life, then I had, kids other than my other kids. My older kids are now, they're up there doing well, but I was more stern, more harder with them, because that's how I was raised. Discipline was everything. You step out of line, we're going to put you back in. If me and my brothers got into a fight, we had to put gloves on, and our uncles and stuff watched us box each other and stuff like that. We get in trouble, we got beatings, but, we say beatings, we need to, certain
Well,
beatings.
I would say to piggyback off of that, raising boys. I think I like we had the discussion earlier today. I
Yeah.
raised my daughter as a boy,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that is the reason why she's probably as hard as she is.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
she was the only child. I don't have any more kids.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm thinking so far ahead in the future. I'm not living in the present. I'm living, okay, well, I'm going to be dead.
Yeah.
I need for you to be able to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about by any means necessary.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So protect yourself by any cost. Now, today, this time, I don't have a problem. That girl has so much heart that I get scared at times because it's like you'll run into the fire without thinking about the cost. You know what I mean? There was like, for an example, there was a time that we had a party here and it got crazy. Not here at the house, but one of the neighbors down the street. Now, the people that are leaving out, they're going out. One of the girls had screamed at her aunt and she was gone by the time I turned around. She's about to put a pause on this girl. And I was like, no, they got the whole neighborhood. She was like, no, but if I get that one, the rest of them will see. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, she get it honest, because that's why I'm like, let me get to the one and make the other ones watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
All right, so you guys told me how you parented,
Yeah.
but what would you tell a dad, that is parenting in 2026?
I mean, listen to the older heads. You know what I'm saying? We mature later on in life. Then you start having other kids. I told my other 2 kids, you guys were guinea pigs to me becoming a father. Because, what I'm saying, I was a daddy. We all daddies, baby daddies and whatever. But a father, what I'm saying, I think you have to mature into that to become that guy. So I'm a father now, even though I was a daddy, but I have to raise him differently because I can't do the same. Plus, times are changing. You know what I'm saying? And it's harder out here for these kids nowadays. So now you have to, the mental stuff, they got the internet, they got all this other stuff that's raising them rather than us seeing, what else is going on in the world. So I would tell other fathers, just kind of take advice from older guys that have been through it. You know what I'm saying? Like someone said earlier, don't be a friend to your children. you know what I'm saying, you continuously be that father because you'll never stop being a dad. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how old they get. I'm going to always be this kid's daddy. I'm going to always be my kid's dad. I'm going to always be in their life, and I'm going to always make sure they do what they supposed to do right. I'm not going to hold their hand, but I'm going to still give them guidance because we are their counselors as well. So I would tell them, talk to some older heads that have grown up and seen things and experienced children and how to raise them, and you might get some good advice.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. Being, like you said, you had a lot of male role models. Your father, you had your stepfather in your life, right?
Yeah.
I had nobody. You know what I'm saying? So me being a father and a dad was whatever I saw on television because my mom didn't have me around any men. And as much as she tried to put male role models in my life, it was always short-lived. So what was it? When I was younger, I was in a young Marine program around other men, but then she couldn't keep that up. So now I'm not in that program no more. You know what I mean? So then I end up going to high school. I'm standoffish, so I don't really have the teachers around me to be able to put that information into me so that way I can be a better man, you know? Then I go in with this mindset that the world owed me something, and then I join the Marine Corps and get a rude awakening. I'm talking about, life don't owe you nothing. You know what I mean? So now, instead of me being, what is that?
I'm supposed to be going to work on air, but I'm off today.
Oh, okay. So that's your thing to let you know. So, needless to say, all I'm saying is that being
Like we,
being raised without a father figure, I'm not sure. I did not know what it was to be a dad and a father. So at the end of the day, now I got a daughter. So what am I supposed to do?
Right.
All I did was raise her military style, very strict, very like structured. You don't have no choice but to do it this way because there is no other way. I know the best way for you. You know, but now she's 23 years old. You know what I mean? It's not where she doesn't want to listen to me. She's ready to live her life and make her own decisions. So I have to be now the father. I have to stand back and allow you to make those mistakes, but give you a safe place to fall when you do.
Definitely.
please, y'all, I'm not laughing at him. It's just that I'm so tickled. I think he thinks the alarm was to tell him to stop talking. There was a time limit, maybe.
Maybe. I didn't know.
Oh, okay, okay. No, definitely. I have several alarms set for the day, for meds, for clocking in, for clocking out. If I take a nap to get up, I have to have all of these alarms. Well, that's a good segue into my next question. Now, Mike, you said your father passed away when you were 3.
Yeah.
Leroy, you didn't know your dad.
No, I
knew
knew
him?
my dad wasn't in my life, though.
You just didn't have a relationship
Yeah, I
with
just didn't
him.
have a relationship at all.
Okay. Although you had a stepfather, God bless him, because stepfathers are totally welcome in this circle of life. Did not having a relationship with your father affect how you process your mental health? Did it affect it at all?
I didn't know at that time. It don't now because, I never knew him. I knew I had, he was biological, but I was raised by my stepfather. He's been with us since, I was born in 75. He's been with us since 79. So he's my father. You know what I'm saying? That's all I know. You know what I'm saying? So he did a great job. He took care of us. He loved my mother, and he made sure she was taken care of. So that's the figure that I've seen my whole life. That's the guy I emulate. He was very neat. He clean. He took care of us. He made sure we had for nothing. So he was a man. You know what I'm saying? So I have no regrets as him as being my father. Because he did what he was supposed to have done. You know what I'm saying?
What about
Well,
you?
for me, and I say this now, I'm the two sides of the coin. So with being raised by my mom and my grandmother, and being the only boy in the house, I was what you would consider very emotional. I'll act on a whim. You know what I mean? Didn't have that control. Now I feel like if my dad was there, he would have been able to instill some discipline to be able to put those controls over my emotions in place. Then I joined the Marine Corps. And the Marine Corps, they don't really tell you to control your emotions. They want you to be angry. They need for you to be angry so that way you can get the job done. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to act in spite of fear. So if it came down to it, because in the Corps, every Marine is a rifleman. So if it comes down to getting the mission done, they don't care if you're scared. They'd rather you be angry, kill what you need to kill, take care of what you need to take care of, and then they would deal with your emotions and stuff after the fact. That's the reason why they
Clear
got the
'em out.
VA. That's the
Yes.
reason why all of us need the therapy. So at the end of the day, now I'm hyper angry. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to control those emotions. Now look at it like this: I'm out of the military. Now I'm married. I'm married, and I am now sitting and going through PTSD and not even knowing that I'm going through anxiety, depression, post traumatic stress disorder. Don't know anything about any of this. Don't know what it feels like and not being like directed in the right way. It took me 20 years and a divorce
To
and my
realize.
daughter leaving
Yep.
for me to see, okay, well, this is what depression looks like. This is what anxiety feels like. And I didn't even know what it was when I was going through it. You know what I mean? It would have been helpful to be like, okay, well, yeah, you're showing signs of this. But I didn't know. And now that I do know, I have to take responsibility for those mistakes and those actions that I've done in the past, and now I'm a better person for it. So
Yeah.
So both of my brothers here have had, I don't know if you say had or have PTSD. Both of these are military veterans. Thank you for your service because somebody had to go and it wasn't going to be me. I signed up, chicken out at the last minute. And now that I hear what some military people have gone through and the aftermaths, you guys did not get paid enough. There will never be enough money to compensate you for what you've had to endure.
Right.
But both of you are in front of it. Both of you know now that PTSD is a part of your life, correct?
Correct.
So my question would be, you said you didn't know you were going through it at that time. What did you think you were going through? Or did you not even think you were going through anything?
For me, I thought it was when you've been living at a heightened state of sensitivity for so long, you find that to be your new normal. So you don't think that you're different. You think everybody else has the issue. So I mean, I quick to speak. I was very quick to anger. You know what I mean? I would say what I wanted to say. If there was no empathy behind it, there was no compassion behind the things I said, and if I said something and it fell wrong, it was your responsibility to deal with it, not the responsibility of how I said it.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, this is so deep. My dad is a veteran from the Vietnam War, and he was not emotional at all.
No.
He was just there, you know. He loved us through actions and gifts, but when I say he was just there, that's when he was there because he was a truck driver and the road was his home and he loved being on the road. And now just hearing that, it makes me wonder if my dad, who went to the Vietnam War in 60s or 70s, was suffering from PTSD.
Yeah, Vietnam was crazy.
yeah,
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But it's a broken mindset. You know, when you go to through basic training, and I was what they call in the Marines recon. You know what I'm saying? I did reconnaissance, and so I was a cavalry scout, and so when you go to basic training, they take all this civilian stuff
and they said the
and
trash.
they trash it.
Yep.
They go here, they break this because they have to mentally discipline you. You know what I'm saying? You can't control the body without the mind. So they discipline your mindset. So they change your mindset because you finna go to combat. You finna do some stuff that you've never, ever done in your life. And you
And
finna see some
experience.
things
Yep.
that you never thought you would see. So imagine our emotions as we go to combat, right? And you're a leader in this war. And so one of your soldiers get killed, somebody you trained up, somebody you've been with, just like your child. He's a child himself. This kid is 17, 18, 19 years old. And this kid dies in front of you. Now, the friends of that kid, that soldier that they lived with, trained with, was in the barracks with, they get shocked and they freeze up. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be that guy that cuss them jokers out in their face, tell them to get back on duty. You know what I'm saying? Get out the way. We got to get this body up, get it out here, and get back to fighting. We go back to the fob. And you got to tell them the same thing because we got to go back out tomorrow and do the same thing in that same location where that kid just passed away.
Jesus.
Ain't no time off. But you have to do that almost every freaking day. And you go to where are your emotions? You have to have none because emotions will get you killed in combat. You know what I'm saying? You watched with what's the boy name in the one movie? He said, he don't look at pictures of his kid because if he think about home, it's gonna get him killed.
Oh, you're talking about that was the Lorenzo Tate.
Yeah,
movie, I think,
Lorenzo.
yeah.
So you got to wipe all that out. So now we have all this in us for 18 months to however long we're over there, and we come back home, and we have to get back to the person that we was. But that dude is gone.
Yeah, that person dead.
That dude is gone. So then now being a father at the same time, coming back to your kids with this aggression, this op tempo, this all this junk inside of you, this anger or whatever it is, and you want to go back over there because now everything slows
That's
down.
comfortable. It's
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's crazy, man. It's mental mindset is a thing, and these kids been rocking with me since they seen my ups, they seen my downs, and with your it took me 20 years to realize at the same that I had that because it's combat stress to me. But then once I realized and I opened up to receive help because I didn't see it, I'm okay now.
And I think that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Leroy, during that season where your significant other been telling you might have been going through something, they don't know what it is
Yep.
though, and you don't know what it is either. All they know is that you're always angry.
Yep.
You now I'm not the abusive type. Never put my hands on her or anything like that. But I know the harshness of my words on how I say things is because things got to get done. And this is another example. Just going through boot camp, when he tell you got to break stuff down, one of the exercises that you have to do when you go through boot camp that kind of shocked me was the tree line exercise. It's like 2:30 in the morning, and they're going to simulate war for you. Now, this is the first time any kid has going to experience anything like this. So they try to bring the war to you so you can realize what it is.
Yep.
Now, the tree line exercise is that the first 3 to 4 lines of your squadron, of your group, they're the meat grinder. It's their job to set off the bombs in the ground. Now, how do you feel about thinking about your job is to blow stuff up?
Engineers.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just imagine you're walking.
And people.
Yeah, well, listen, at the end of the day, here's one thing that I learned. It's when you tell a society that a group of soldiers got blown up, it's the status quo. It's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
You can't sit up there and tell them that they're blowing up babies because then all of the civilians would get their emotions behind and want to end the war. I think that's kind of what happened with Vietnam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm fourth, fifth on the line. This is the first experience I had with it. And they're setting off bombs around you while you're hearing the gunshots. And your job is to try to get through the tree line. But even when you get through the tree line, you become visible. So now you become part of the meat grinder. You got machine guns pointed directly at you.
Okay.
Wow.
So I'm sorry.
I get it. I
You
get
got
it.
to pop
I
smoke.
get it. So
You got to low crawl.
Exactly.
Tanzanites, what we are dealing with is so heavy. So many of our men of all races have joined the military. I always like not to pick a subject before I start because I'm almost certain that the conversation will lead us in a way that is going to be so helpful, even if only one listener listens. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I mean, you're a podcaster, but if you push the show through your podcast format, it goes everywhere.
Yes.
It goes all over the world. And what I'm finding out is that men of all races, of all areas that they grew up in, are typically having the same issues. Now, one of the issues that really softened my heart was knowing these dads who had lost children, didn't have a safe space, didn't have a time. They still had to pay bills. They still had to discipline kids. They still had to be a husband. They still had to be an employee with all of the things in their heart, in their heads, in their minds. And if they decided to have a family, if it wasn't their first family, they had to deal with mistakes of their past or having children out of wedlock or just, it's nonstop.
Hmm.
It is totally nonstop. And that's why I wanted a space for at least 4 hours you could stop. So, what advice could you give to my dads when they feel like they about to crash out? I mean, what should they do? Should they drink? Should they go to the club? Should they go to therapy? Should they take meds? Like, what is, in your opinion, a dad should do? Or you could tell us what you did because you said you did realize it.
Yeah.
And there was a breaking point.
Yeah. That's the first thing. You got to realize you have a problem.
Yeah.
You have to understand the problem. And then you have to figure out ways to fix it. The way I fixed it, I had to go get counseling. I needed a third person besides people that already know me and see me, and they can tell me that there's a problem, but I'm not going to realize that it's one because I don't think it's a problem. I'm okay. But as soon as you go talk to them, now I was rebellious. I was in the hospital for 6 months, and I was rebellious in the mug. I was sitting there like, ain't nothing wrong with me. Ain't nothing wrong with me. But then they put you through meditation. You know what I'm saying? They have you close your eyes, and I had to go to an intensive treatment in Atlanta. But they make you close your eyes, and they take you to your most memorable moment of trauma, and you have to speak it to them and tell them with your eyes closed. You have to see that situation and be able to talk about it. And once you talk about it, you're okay. Because a lot of us don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like we said earlier, we hold everything inside, but they allow us to talk about it. But you ain't gonna do it on the first day. You ain't gonna do it it's gonna take you a little while, but they're gonna continuously breathe into you, and you relax and just realize that that moment is there. It's there to help you. I told them folks to me, I said, I'm a broken car. You know what I'm saying? And I'm coming to your shop for you to fix me. You have the tools to fix me. But once I come outside of that shop, the tools you gave me, I have to apply them to my everyday life in order for me to fix me. So you have to come up with some coping mechanisms that help. Other people might not like your mechanisms because folks ain't gonna like mine. But I don't care because I have to help me. I have to learn to get back to Mike. And the way I do that, my kids, filming, you know what I'm saying, and I relax. You know what I'm saying? I make time for myself because when I'm gone, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be no more of me. Yeah. So why I gotta sit out here and let all this beat me down, you know what I'm saying, when I ain't got but one life to live, and I'm gonna live it to the fullest. Okay. There it is.
What about you? What is it, or have you done anything? I don't, I want you to tell my listeners as a dad, when you got to that crash out, or if you've gotten to that point, because you said you didn't know, that means that you now know.
Yes.
So what have you done or are doing?
Well, I've been so therapy. I got a show coming up in reference to exactly what we're talking about. So it is a good segue. June 18th, I have my comedy special that's going to be at the Comedy Zone called Therapy. There was a situation that I'm not going to go too in depth on, but something was going on, and myself, my ex, and my daughter was at the beach. And something transpired at the beach. And I had to ask her, and I was like, so what exactly is going on? And she looked me dead in the face and she said, Leroy, you need to get some help. Mm-hmm. She just said that. I didn't understand. I didn't understand why or anything like that. And in the midst of, and this happened 2024, right? I'll say probably about 2 weeks before my birthday. And she said, you need to get some help. And then she proceeded to leave me where I was standing. She left me with, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to go in depth as to that. But then I realized I was there. At that point, I was alone. So there was no coming back from whatever decision that she decided to make or whatever decision she did make before that particular conversation. So in my mind, I was like, okay, well, you wouldn't be telling me this if you didn't care. Mm-hmm. So the next thing I did is I went to my job, because at this time I didn't have VA disability at all. I didn't have the VA helping me out at all. Mm-hmm. I went to, and yes, my engineer at the time who was doing another podcast, he kept telling me to go to the VA since 2017 when we started the other podcast. I didn't listen to him because just like you, there was nothing wrong. I'm fine. I'm just like you would say, jolly. I make people laugh. I'm doing comedy. All the while, I'm hurting on the inside, and I don't understand the reasons why. So I went to my job. I work for the city, and they have what is it, EAP or EPA, whatever they call it.
EAP.
And they got me my first counselor, and his name is Lawrence. And during those 6 sessions, opened my eyes to the idea, yeah, Leroy, you might be, because the way you think, my brain is like wired, like a little different. I'm somewhat off, but I had to come to the realization, okay, well, how do I deal with this, And then after that, I went through BetterHelp, and then from BetterHelp, the VA kicked in.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So honestly, tell the truth, if it wasn't for the conversation at the beach with me, because at that time, I knew the relationship was over. So just like you said, I can't do it for you anymore. I got to do it for me now. If this helps out to where you want to keep everything together, then so be it. But from that point forward, I would say August 16th, 2024, when I started going through my self journey of building myself up to be different, it was then. And I commended to that. And of course, I had to realize that I had the problem to begin with to be able to go get it fixed.
So I know my listeners are going to be like, well, you're sitting with 2 men that are already going to therapy. Like they've already recognized the crash out. I like to use that word because it makes me seem hip. They've already recognized that there was something wrong and they're already in therapy, right? But what do we hear the average man say? And I love my brother, so I'm going to say the average black man say about therapy.
Well, they would say that they don't need it.
Yeah.
They would say, I don't need to talk to somebody and tell them about my business. And I think that comes from the parenting
Big
of us
mama.
growing up, saying what goes on in the house stays in the house.
Stays in the house. That's
So
right.
that's the problem. So at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, it takes a real strong man to go get counseling. And it even says it in the Bible. It says, what good king doesn't have a multitude of godly counsel around them? So at the end of the day, when I read that, it was like, okay, well, let me go ahead and see if I can get somebody who is non-biased. So I agree.
Yep.
Having people in your family, that scared me too.
What is that?
I don't know what's happening here. Go ahead, keep talking.
No,
That's the devil.
having people in my family that's part of my echo chamber is only going to tell me the things that I want to hear.
Yep.
And I'm gonna say this name, and if you ever get a chance to listen or watch this, I give credit where credit is due. Bishop Davis from Impact Church.
Ooh,
Okay.
I know him. I know of him. I've been to his church.
There was a time where I needed to get some information about my finances. And I was like, I don't really want to go to no pastor because all they're going to do give me is a whole bunch of Bible. All of this because the Bible is this and this is how God can help you out. He didn't do that. In his email, he stated the Bible is a good book. It's good to give you all of the emotional stuff that you need, character building and all of that. But sometimes it takes a scalpel to get down to certain things and certain things that the Bible is not going to be able to tell you. It'll tell you stories about it, but how to do it is the next thing. And then he gave me Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and Dave Ramsey's The Total Money Makeover.
I sent that to him.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Listen to that too? You said?
Yeah, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I sent it to my son. Him and Wall Street Trapper.
Okay.
Wall Street Trapper is a good one,
Oh, yeah.
especially
Y'all
for those.
hear it. Y'all
Yes,
hear
sir.
him. Dads.
But see, for men, we only are as good as we can provide. The only unconditional love that we're going to get is going to be from our parents who want us to be better than them. And we was having that discussion about love and how love is it takes a real strong person to love, because if you love in anything, it's going to eventually leave at some point. So you loving something is going to hurt you in the long run, and that's
Ooh.
it is. So
Well,
it's
that's inevitable?
It's-
Oh, you
yeah,
mean
no,
like even though they're everyday actions, they can hurt your feelings?
it's inevitable. For an example, let's say I love my daughter. I love my daughter.
I understand that.
And
I understand that.
she's gonna, you know what I'm saying? And everybody wants to, as parents, we want to outlive our children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anything that you decide that you're going to love, whatever that is that you
Ooh,
love,
that's
it's
deep.
going to go away. So you have to come to the realization that I know that I love you, but I'm not going to be able to keep you. So
So what does that do? Keep you? We'll talk about that on another episode.
uh,
What I want to know is how do you choose the best therapist? Like EAP gave you your therapist, but as a man, how another man that's getting ready to, seek therapy? Do they choose a woman? Do they choose a black woman? Do they choose a man? What would you say is a way that they should choose their therapist?
But again, you know what I'm saying, depending on how many therapists there are, VA don't have that many.
they
You
do
know, we normally have what you call not the
Group.
therapist, but the
group counseling
yeah,
sessions.
but the before the therapist, they normally have
They have the counseling, the
the
therapist, and the
PAs or what they
psycho,
call 'em.
the
Yeah, yeah, like
psychiatrist.
yeah. So they would give us those, and a lot of times I want a female. I don't want to. To me, I don't want to sit there and tell and be vulnerable. And this is what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're doing.
Because my next follow up question.
Yeah, I didn't want to be vulnerable in front of a man. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt judgment. You know what I'm saying? Then as a man, I'm not finna sit here and cry in front of a man like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, now I'm okay to cry. I cry now because, you know what I'm saying, I know who I am. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with that. But I would rather talk, because females are more, I'm more comfortable talking to a female. You know what I'm saying? I would tell her my story because, you know what I'm saying, I look at them as like how me and my mom used to talk. So I can open up to you, you know what I'm saying, a little bit at a time. And so I don't know how other people would choose their kind. It could be somebody that's referred, or could it be someone that, you've heard, or, we can, he can tell me about his counselor, and I'll be like, well, I might want to go talk to him. Because the VA just give you somebody, you know
That's
what I'm saying?
right.
And that's it. You go see that person, you don't know that person from Adam, man, you're going to sit there on the couch. Then this person going to end up leaving, and now you finna get another. I done been through 5 counselors. So I said, bro, I got to fix myself. I got to figure this out. So, you know what I'm saying, I now help myself. And most people like to go to their pastors for counseling, because pastors are great counsel. You know what I'm saying? So when you choose your counselor, it's your preference. You know what I'm saying? You rather talk to a man, you rather talk to a woman, or you talk to your pastor. They can counsel you as well.
You want to add anything to that, or?
I know I agree. It's based off of your own personal preference. Me personally, I'm not. He said he's comfortable speaking to a woman because he doesn't want to talk to a man. I'm kind of reverse that. I don't want to look weak in front of a female. So I would rather not talk to a female, because I feel like a man will understand my experience and be able to give me some advice from another man's perspective. Me personally, I'm not sexist or anything, but I don't think that I will be able to get the information I need from a female's perspective, because they view the world differently. So if I like, for an example, Lawrence, prior military vet, I asked for a military vet, somebody who's been in the military, so that way I can kind of I need something to work on. You know what I mean? I can't just be like, okay, listen to you. I need to be able to work at it. The same reason Bishop gave me those books, I was able to implement what I've learned and then be able to do it. That's why I'm better with my finances today than I was yesterday. My whole goal is to be better than I was yesterday, today. And I felt like that my male counselor will be able to be like, okay, as a man, you're going to have to get up and work out. You're going to have to do that. And I'm not sure if a female is going to be like, well, no, you shouldn't have to work out. Maybe you might want to get in touch. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I like
right.
So,
So what I'm hearing is there's no rhyme or reason. Just go.
Yeah.
The first step is just go, because you may get when my son first passed, I chose Christian based counseling, and it didn't work for me. Everything was Christian based, and I needed someone to appeal to my flesh that I lost my child. You understand? I also needed someone who had a child. She didn't have any children. So I think it's very important to vet the person if you have the opportunity to do so. But I think it's also very important to take that first step. That way I see that you guys have done things that's outside of the vet, which is very commendable is the word I'm looking for. Now, aren't you part of, Mike, some program in the city that men can go
Yeah,
to?
Northwest. I sit on the board of Northwest Behavioral Health off of Edgewood, and I do the mental health portion for the veterans. So yeah,
And
there's counseling. There's numbers you can call. They if you don't have insurance or anything like that, they work with you.
there you
You know what I'm
go.
saying? Because the city give them money to get you counseling and have someone to talk to. So it's like one of those hidden gems that we really don't know anything about. When I did the mental health thing, there was a lot of locations I went to that people don't know that they can get free mental health counseling, and they just got to go there and get it. But they don't know anything about it because we always been taught, oh, they doctors, you got to pay money for that, you got to have
Right,
insurance for that.
exactly.
You ain't got to have no insurance, just go in there.
And so you were telling me about something online.
Oh
If they
yes,
didn't want to be in person.
yes. I was once I got done with EAP, I went through BetterHelp. BetterHelp is online-based, telephone-based way to speak to a counselor that will be able to assist. Now they do require that you have some insurance. They was taking mine, but if I needed to talk to somebody and it needed to be immediate, I could be like, listen, I need 15 minutes. I can call, get my counselor or a counselor that's part of their group. I had a group of like three,
Yeah,
and if they was available at that time, but then I had my scheduled visits with the same individual. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
at the end of the day, I went through BetterHelp, and then after BetterHelp, I went to the VA, and the VA, I'm good now with discussing what I've gone through, and I feel like my direction is now to assist others. So I do a lot of group setting things
yeah,
now. So if I'm sitting in a group and then I can help bounce some ideas off of how you can do this way. Okay, you're dealing with anger. Okay, how do you deal with it? Because anger is an emotion that's okay to have. God gave us anger. Now, what's the reasoning behind the anger? You find out that everything leads to 5 or 6 emotions, even though it's dispersed over a whole multitude of feelings. So, at the end of the day, that's the route that I took to get to a better place.
yeah.
So no route Tanzanites is perfect. And along the way, we are going to get in some bumps in the road to, for a lack of better terms, life is bumpy. But I'm sitting with two dads, not just one today, who have recognized that, hey, I need help. Whether it was through their own um, realizing from somebody telling them. I mean, even sometimes when people tell us stuff, we go to prove that person wrong only to find out they were right all along. If we could do it all over again, we all would do things differently. But what we're trying to do is just give you some nuggets to live by, some nuggets that will feed you to a place of, okay, if Leroy could do it, if Mike can do it, if Tan can do it, I can do it. And that is my greater hope. You can listen to this show where It's Okay to Live. It's found on all podcasts. Hashtag It's Okay to LIVE. We also are partnering today with, tell them where to listen for you, Leroy.
Okay, you can listen to the Anger Management Podcast on any social media platform. As of right now, the audio versions are going to be uploaded within the next 3 weeks back on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, all of those areas there. If you want to listen to or see the podcast, you can go to AMP or Anger Management Podcast on YouTube or on Facebook. To be able to get some information. And also, my email is the last Leroy official at gmail.com. If you have any questions or you need some assistance with finding any kind of information or you just need somebody to talk to, you know what I mean? I'm always interested in making sure that men get the help that they need.
So it looks like Leroy said you could contact him. Is that what I heard? Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I heard. I didn't ask him if that's what I heard because that's what I heard. Also, he already told you that he has a show coming up on June 18th and it's called Therapy, but it is fun. I mean, we both believe in, like, I use music to get through therapy. He uses comedy to get through therapy. So make sure you look him up, find out where that show is, get your tickets, because for both of our events, they're going fast. He's going to host mine and I'm going to DJ his. But before we go, I want to talk with Dre to see what he has coming up or what he has going on. I also meant to ask you, do you still go out to the schools with the kids and talk with them and read
I
to
do.
them and stuff and different
Yeah,
things like that?
I
So
do.
tell us what you got coming up.
Yeah, so 20th on the same day, June 20th, I'll be singing at the Melody Market for the Juneteenth. My segment starts at 3:45, so you want to hear these tunes.
Oh, you don't have a
If you
tight
want to hear
day.
the tunes of the Mr. Andre Peeko Train, just come on out and check it, brother.
All right.
He's in. So yeah, so I got that. Next week I'm shooting a short film called Domestic Violence. I call it Domestic. And it's about domestic violence. Same with the mental health stuff that we do. So I like to do a lot of short films about mental health stuff. So domestic, basically, a husband abusing a wife and why, the best friend of that spouse, it took her that day to her find out that her friend, they've been friends since they was 5 years old. They're in their 40s now, and she's in the hospital fighting for her life because, and the friend did not know that she was in an abusive marriage. She didn't know her friend was being beat. So how do you hide that? So they're going to tell the story while the friend is laying there in the bed, half dead in a coma. Her inner voice is going to speak to her friend, and they're going to have a conversation on why you never told me, and she's going to go through, this is why, what I'm saying, you never told me, what I'm saying. So it's going to be a real good short. I'm shooting it Saturday and Sunday. I need extras Sunday at the hospital, so I'll put that post up on my
This
Facebook
Sunday?
page. Yes. So I put that post up on my Facebook page, and along with that, I'll start shooting my feature film called "Don't Play with Me." It's a hip hop story, and that'll start around the end of July to middle of August.
You already had casting?
No.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna
I was
cast
just
probably
about to
around the
say.
time because my son is here, so I got to spend time with him. He's getting ready to go to college.
Oh,
Texas
congratulations.
Southern
Congratulations.
University for 4 years. He's going to be a lawyer.
All right now.
And so so that's that. But one last story before we
No
go.
problem.
I always try to tell this story while he's here. This is just understanding your children and listening. And so, what I'm saying, when I've always had him, and I was kind of like a part-time dad to him because, me and his mother wasn't together. And, he would come with me every summer, every Christmas. This kid probably flew more than anybody I know. Me and him have intellectual conversations, and we talk. We don't talk as, I talk to him as a man, and we have these conversations. He asks a lot of questions, and I have to breathe it into him so he can understand life and understand the world because he's about to get into it. You know what I'm saying? He's about to be on his own. He's about to go to college. So this one situation, me and his mom was going through, basically a custody battle. And, we, we in court fighting. I ended up getting custody of him for like 9 months. He went back home to his mom. And what happened was when I won custody of him, I was leaving because me and him talking. I said, I'm going to let you finish football, then I'll come back and get you. But the lawyers told me, no, you need to get him now. I'm in Dallas. He live in Killeen. That's 3 hours away. I was heading back to Florida. I got to Shreveport, Louisiana. I had to turn around at night, drive all the way back. I got back at 5 a.m. He went to school at like 9. I had to go to school and steal him, basically. And he didn't say goodbye to his mom or nothing like that. So I took him, basically. So he's on the phone and his mom calling him and she's crying and stuff like that. And you know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there as a man, like, you know what I'm saying? This is what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? So he's here with me and he's trying his best to be, he's my son, but he's trying his best to play both roles.
Yeah.
And it was hard for him. But I'm not thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's between me and his mother. Kids stay in their place. We doing what we supposed to do. So when he went home for, I think, Christmas or whatnot, she never returned him. So I'm going back and forth with the courts, back and forth. It's illegal, but they're not doing anything. So we in court fighting. He's there, and he's going through all this. And the first time he disrespected me, I called this kid on the phone because he's supposed to came back, and he's with his grandma, and he said something sideways. and raised his voice at me. My kids don't raise their voice at me. You know what I'm saying? And so I go in on, I'm cussing him out. Don't you ever talk to me like that? Boy, I don't know who the hell you think you talking to. I'm in him. And he's like, yes, sir, Dad. And we hung up the phone. Not thinking about his feelings and his emotions and what he's going through. So when I went to court the last time, me and him sat in a little room and we talked. And I said, let's talk. I'm going to listen to you. Just tell me what's going on. And he basically said, Dad, y'all didn't take my feelings into it, you know what I'm saying? Account. I love you, you know what I'm saying? I love my mom too, you know what I'm saying? But my mom raised me, you know what I'm saying? You raised me too and you've been there for me, but my mother, that's my mom. Like my mom is my mom, and I wouldn't want my dad to come in and take me from my mother. You know what I'm saying? So when he started saying that, I start really listening to him. You know what I'm saying? Because he's right.
He was 9?
Nah, he was 15.
Oh, 15, okay.
But you know what I'm saying? We would just,
All that
it would just back and forth.
time.
It was about, we
Yes.
made it about us and not him. And so we neglected his feelings for hours. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you know what? You right, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Because I was, and we talk. I love you to death, boy. You know, I'd do anything for you. You know what I'm saying? But I had to show him love. And when he spoke up that moment, now I have to listen. I understand. And I told his mom, I said, I apologize. You know what I'm saying? You go back and be with your mom. I'm cool. We done with this. You know what I'm saying? You graduate in a couple more years, we okay. But our relationship is the same, but it's not like it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't talk as much on the phone like we did. You know what I'm saying? I've gotten busier and he's getting ready for school, got him a little girlfriend now. But I just want to just that note alone. I just want everybody to understand. A lot of these kids, when I talk to these kids, they say the parents don't listen. We think we know everything, and they don't understand what they got going on. They dealing with the cyberbullying, the bullying itself. Just social media, just all this stuff, and we think we know everything because we revert back to how we was raised. And we don't get them.
Or how we weren't raised.
And we don't listen.
See,
You know
listen,
what I'm
I thank you.
Yeah.
And I think I'm probably getting the realization of that now. Okay, at 19, when my daughter was 19, I did not understand. Like, okay, if I tell you to do something, I didn't realize by the time that she was 19 that okay, yeah, I really don't need to listen to you anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm giving you the best knowledge I can to make it better for you. And then recently she was like, well, I let her come back home because when her mom left, she left with her mom. And I explained to her, like, you never really had to leave. She was like, well, Dad, you just was different, And I was like, okay. But when she came back home, she was like, Dad, I see a difference. And I think that difference was I'm listening to hear your feelings.
Yep.
And as much during that time period that I disliked her mom for what she did, I try not to down her mom in front of her. You know what I mean? I don't think when you hurt though, certain regrets that you may do things. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But what it all boils down to is that now me and her relationship is better. She calls me because she says, Dad, I just need some advice. And that right there alone.
And that's all you want.
That's it. Because when she just recently moved out. She recently moved out June 1st.
From here?
Yeah. And she was like, well, Dad, I don't want to always live. I don't want to always live home. I don't always want to live with you or your mom or my mom. And I was like, okay, I raised you to be independent. So if this is what you want to do, I'm going to give you something that I didn't have, and that's a safety net. I was like, go out there and make your mistakes. Do what you need to do. Don't get hurt. And push come to shove. If you're falling, make me the last resort. Don't call me because I can't think of nothing else. No, if you've done everything that you could possibly do and you know that there's no way you can get out of it, then give me a call because I'll be able to assist you in that matter. But I need for you to realize that once I'm dead, you can't call me like that. So try your best to figure it out the best way you know how.
Best way you know how.
Okay? And then if you can't, your dad will be here. So I thank you. That's all I can say is thank you because that opened up my eyes and some realization that, yeah, I might have been I might have been a tough father growing up, but everything is coming back around full circle.
Yes, what a blessing
Yeah.
that you do have that opportunity. And, I was going to say if there's anything that you guys wanted to say, that we haven't covered, this is your time. These sessions become so beautiful for me. And I really know that just like Leroy heard you, it's going to be another dad that's going to say, oh, maybe I'm not considering, because I've talked to some dads in custody battles, child support cases, who just say, F them kids, because they've had enough. And I could not ever understand that. Like, how could you have that type of feeling? But it's just so much. It is so much while you're still trying to parent, still trying to live, and then living with all that you've been through as a man. So many dads. That's why I named the event It's Okay Dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is okay to make a mistake. It is okay to cry. It is okay to feel, because you just don't get that leeway. You know what I'm saying? You're always about doing the right thing, and it's never to hurt anyone. You did the best that you could with what you had. You know what I'm saying? But women get more of a break. We do. And we talked about that earlier. If I do something wrong, they're going to be like, what your baby daddy did, or what your ex-husband did, or what your husband, you know what I'm saying? But for you guys, you don't get that leeway to even make any mistakes, and you're made of flesh and bone as well. Is there anything else you want to add?
In closing, for any man who has not seen the movie The Forge, I'm gonna recommend that to any man. Period. Because at the end of the day, it takes men like myself and Mike and my engineer to be able to be that starting line. If you haven't seen the movie The Forge, the synopsis is it's a young man coming of age story, and he needs guidance, and he finds guidance in in his boss, who just so happened to have a small group, and in this small group are other men. There are no women around. So that's why I say I commend you for putting this together for men, because back in the day, the men would take the boys away from the women to be able to raise these young men to be strong men, because they know of the emotional stake that the women will put in there. They had to remove the woman to make these guys men now. And it's the same idea. This kid is raised by a single mom, and he has a different mentality while he's with her. He ends up getting a job, and this guy pretty much mentors him, puts him into a small group with other men, and then you see the change that happens with him just being around other men. For me, when I do the anger management podcast, my brother Big Chip, Ed, Pastor Ernest, Funny Bone, those are like the men that are part of my foundation. Then I also have my brother Daryl also, who are part of my foundation of men that I can literally go to, and if I needed to cry, it's okay for me to do so. My brother Chip has been there from the time the situation occurred, giving me nothing but godly counsel. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, men have to realize that, yeah, you can talk to your lady about it, but you need to have a group of men that you can talk to that is not going to, you know what I'm saying, they'll pull your coattail when you do something wrong and be there to assist you as a man when you're doing things right. And if you just need that guidance, they there. I know my brother Ed can call me. He rarely calls me if he has a problem, but I know for sure he'll be like, hey, Leroy, man, I need some help. Can you help me out in this? At the drop of a dime, bam. My brother Chip, bam, he called me up. You know what I'm saying? So any of those brothers I got that's in my corner, if I'm down and out, I know I can give them a call and talk to them and not be judged for it. So this is just a judgment-free zone, and I thank you for putting something like this together for us to be able to possibly find that small group of men in this larger group to be able to meet somebody like, yeah, listen, bro, I'm, you know what I'm saying, we hang out or whatever, might meet up at a chicken wing spot. Men, we real simple, you know what I'm saying? Let's go to Buffalo Wild Wings. You know what I'm saying? The next thing you know, we there discussing what we going through over some wings and some blue cheese.
And sometimes they need men outside of their circle.
Yep.
So that they can be vulnerable with.
Yep.
You know, that new circle of friends that understand them for their situation and not for who they are. Because sometimes prejudge people knowing them. You know what I'm saying? If people think you joke too much and they come and then you're like, oh, I'm not joking this time. You know, they think you're acting. So you sometimes need those strangers that can guide you and lead you. So I'm hoping for that as well. So yeah, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
And lastly, you know what I'm saying, like I said earlier, listen to your kids. You know what I'm saying? It's important. And then, you know, when you say about the child support thing, fathers, if you got it, you know what I'm saying, it's hard for these single mothers out there, especially if she doing what she's supposed to do and y'all having to pay your child support. Support your kid. If you're not there in the household, they got bills to pay as well. So, you know what I'm saying, if you can afford it and you're in that kid's life, you know what I'm saying, and y'all got an agreement or an understanding, you know, I get it. But pay your child support. That kid needs that. And lastly, the movie drop that he did, I would tell y'all this. We have, you know, y'all know Tamara Hill, right? So Tamara Hill wrote this movie called The Secret Between Us, and it's getting great reviews right now. I went to see it when she did the pre-screening, and when I tell you, it's kind of based on what you just said about prejudging and things like that. Michael Jai White is one of the lead actors in the movie, and he has this. He ends up, you know, seeing this kid. This kid comes to his house. He's a grown man now. Comes to his house, and he was that was his son. But he didn't. He knew he had a child, but he had to hide it from his wife. He knew, but he didn't know because the mother kept the child away from him. But not without telling the story. It's based on how, you know what I'm saying, we look at things differently and we prejudge before judging. Like, you know, he cheated on her, but why? And they telling the story of why. And every man that looks at that can understand, can walk in Michael Jai's shoes because of what he said is so real. And I told her about it. I sent her a whole book of what that movie did for me and how I understood the movie, because we look at movies now to understand, not to just look at them. So it breaks it down to where he never had a family. All that brought family together. You know what I'm saying? And something ended up happening to the kid. And it was just, it's a great story about family, about prejudging, about, you know, why some men, you know, cheated on, you know, how that it led to the cheating. And it's a great story. So if y'all ever get an opportunity or a chance, go watch that movie.
And it's called The Secrets Between Us?
The Secrets Between Us by
Okay.
Tamara Hill.
Okay, that's going to be part of my movie night. I'm going to see if I can
Alright.
find out what that's
It's
about.
great. It was in the theaters. I don't know if it's out of the theaters yet, and on but if you go to her page, but it came out like April 3rd.
Has it been an hour, Mr. Producer Guy? All right.
Yes.
It just hit an hour.
It just
too.
hit an hour.
Yeah.
I
It's 3
can
o'clock.
kind of get that feeling. Well, Tanzanites, we have been joined by two great men. The last Leroy, you can find him under everything. Leroy Gordon, Andre Peeko train. I tell him what your YouTube is. I can never remember your YouTube.
Enjoy your life to the fullest.
Ooh,
One whole word.
I should remember that because it goes with "It's Okay to Live" so well.
Yes.
Enjoy your life to the fullest. You can see a series we did and haven't finished yet, but that's for another episode.
The series? I'm gonna put it together as a what's name.
Anyways, he got so much stuff going on.
But not the movie. We did a movie together with this kid here, and it's a mental health movie as well.
Who?
You and I, you with my son.
Oh, wait, I thought you said with this the producer.
Oh, no,
My bad.
yeah.
Yeah, we did a mental health movie.
Well, ain't that crazy? So wait a minute, hold up. So y'all do a movie together, and it's focused on mental health. I had an issue with marriage, and I do a movie with her called "I Do, I Don't," and it's about marriage.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You was the
preacher.
pastor.
I was a pastor, and God said,
We keep connecting, man. This was so
Ah.
meant to be.
yes,
So meant to be. Well, guys, you can find all of our stuff everywhere. We'll put the links up somewhere for you to find it. We don't even remember the links anymore sometimes. I do, I don't. I think it's on Prime or somewhere. I don't know. But thank you guys for joining me, and I will talk to you guys soon.